Now this is on the map the area where we just were standing, and this then is a tourist map of the whole Orkney archipelago. And what I've done is I put all black or blue points on places where there are, so to speak, living rock, that is caves, stacks, headlands, fords, anyway, all symptoms or exponents of what I would call resilient rock. And the most important alignment with the resilient rock, so to speak, comes from Hoy and the massive vertical cliff there, the highest on the British Isles, and it goes up and it goes over the stacks of Yesnaby to Bursey and Island, and it follows the field lines at Marwick, and then at Marwick we see there is another alignment which goes then towards Rousey and then even follows all the way up to Coines, and there, that point. There is Vincoy cairn, and here is Westry, and and we see here on the Westry coast also an alignment which is a bit a broad one, but anyway it is full of natural arches, caves and stacks, and these spaces, or these places I should say, have a specific, supposedly a specific energy, and we can see that the major megalithic chambers built on Orkney are all on alignments with each other and with these natural power places, so to speak. The idea of resilient rock is, and we follow it a bit along the coast of the Orkney Islands, is that there in physics there exists so-called Casimir effect, which is when two plates of massive metal are very close to each other, that there exists or is created a kind of quantum potential field, and that effect is called the Casimir effect because the space between the two plates or blocks of metal is so close that there exists a kind of natural potential between those two plates. Now, well, we know that rocks get cracked, and so these big rock faces, I suppose, will all have internal cracks which have very, very little difference, but still they all together create a kind of energy. And especially they do this, and they have this effect on their environment, because these, now two of the most prominent alignments in Orkney go perpendicularly through Buchan, and it's one thing, it is Skara Brae on the west coast, and then it goes northwest to southwest over Buchan, over the Ring of Brodgar, over Stennis, and along the road there to South Rusky Hill, and eventually the fault line at Moulmeal Bay. This is an important alignment, of course, because here we have the most important names of Orkney more or less in one go. But there is more to Buchan, because it is also aligned toward the southwest, and it goes here over a chambered mount, but what is more important, that it goes to the Kame of Hoi or the Kame of Hoi and to the rock face there, and it goes the other way, which is even more significant. It goes over the War Memorial, and then it goes over the what is it again, over, did I get the wrong one? This one. Over Akernes, the Reykjavik, then over the chamber of Ramsey, and then it takes 3 chambers, Bigland, long, Bigland round, and the Ferrocrat twin. But it goes on and it touches on this small island there and eventually comes out on Gentleman's Hall. And there is a cave, and there is a lot of caves and natural arches there. So that's a powerful coastline there with living rock. And so this is a very, very important alignment as well. Another very significant alignment is on Edey, and here we find that there are hilltops as the main points on the living rock line alignment, so to speak. And along these hilltops, which starts at Ward Hill and then goes up and over the Calf of Edey and is on Grey Head. And when you take that alignment, you will find that there are 3 chambers exactly on that alignment. And that is not all, because, and there are also quarries on that alignment which may have been chambers before. But then this alignment goes even further and touches on the other islands, and here's a standing stone, for instance, and here it goes over Tenkernes, eventually just past Hemley Hill, another hilltop, and goes down, 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 and Lythe and Ward Hill on South Ronaldsay. That is a very powerful alignment as well. But there are more. Here we are at Coines on Sandy, and we find an alignment over Starry Geo, and the natural arch there are also, and then we find it goes over the Flaughton Hill on Edey and continues, and over the Chambered Cairn on Eaglesea, over the chapel on Wyre, which was a chamber ever, and goes on and on and on and comes down to Yesnaby. And this is the stack of Yesnaby, and here a lot of alignments come together. And this one, as we go from here, we can follow a line and we will find anywhere an important chamber. So we go to the east from Yesnaby, and we get there already the Ring of Buchan, and south here there is of course Brodgar, which then comes in line with Maes Howe with the Yesnaby stack. And or we follow the Ring of Buchan, and then it is Queen Hill, and further on Quantones. And Quantones again is of course a very important chamber. Sorry, I made a mistake here. The line was on Whiteford Hill, which is of course important enough, but then there is still an alignment with Quantones and, for instance, the stones of Stennis and Maes Howe. And there is another thing. There is also an alignment with the Yesnaby over Quantones, which touches on the Head of Holland, and here Renwick Head. These headlands or hilltops or whatever small islands, they are all signs of resilient rock.